everybody. I'm Steve Green, and this is part 2 of Trifecta's week-long look at the recreation of the Islamic caliphate by the self-proclaimed caliph of the new Islamic State, Abu Dua. And today, my lovely co-hosts Bill Whittle and Scott Ott are going to look at the Iran angle of this story because there's a lot to see, but hardly anybody showing it to you. Gents, while President Obama sends a few hundred advisors to Iraq and has ruled out airstrikes, even just by drones, Iran has sent in at least a couple hundred soldiers from its al-Quds force and has promised more aid is to come. And I should also mention that Iraqi Prime Minister Maliki just put in a $500 million order for Russian warplanes to help him in the fight against the caliphate. Bill, keeping the Russians out and the Iranians contained has been the goal for decades of American policy in the Middle East. Why this reversal?
Because the President of the United States is not an American in the way we understand the term.
Can I expand on that? Or leave it there?
Do I need to?
No, you really don't. You really, really don't. And that's just the saddest, most damning thing I think I've heard in 5 or 6 years of taping this show. I'll go to Scott. Iran is fighting the caliphate to protect its ally, Assad, in Syria, and to protect its Shia brethren in Iraq. So you could say that in Syria, the enemy of our enemy is the caliphate, and that in Iraq, the enemy of our enemy is Iran. So who the heck is our friend over there, Scott?
Israel. That's about it. And, you know, that's stunningly, that's it. Everybody else is motivated by sort of tribal interests, as they have been for hundreds, if not thousands of years in that region of the world. They cannot be trusted because there is, and few people understand this because we don't have this general understanding in the United States. In a lot of cultures around the world, trust is established by good relationships, by good trading and marketing relationships with each other. And you are punished if you don't act with integrity within the tribe. However, outside of the tribe, lying is considered de rigueur. It's okay. There's no problem with lying outside of the tribe. And so we don't understand that, and therefore we think that the rest of the world thinks the way we do. We think that we should act with integrity in all of our relationships. Not that we always do, but we think we should. And so we can't do diplomacy in that area of the world unless we understand that a country that creates, as Bill says this week in one of these episodes, creates a power vacuum, is reluctant to step into it and fix that problem, but nobody else is reluctant to step into it. And Iran and Syria will have no qualms about stepping into the power vacuum that we've created. Nor will Russia. Yeah, and you know, we live in a country founded on ideas, on ideals, in a world that's founded on blood and soil. It's a bad mix. No wonder we keep messing up. Folks, I'll leave you with one last item. Late last year, an Israeli newspaper had an interesting report about Valerie Jarrett, who is the last of President Obama's trusted advisors still there in the White House. The report claimed that Jarrett and the White House were keeping Israel in the dark about negotiations with Iran, secret negotiations, being conducted by Jarrett herself. I should also mention that while Jarrett doesn't seem to be any friend of the Iranian government, she was born there to American parents under the Shah's old regime. Now, while the White House denied the report, Jarrett cut Secretary of State John Kerry out and apparently worked her own secret deal behind the scenes. We still don't know the details. Now, here we are, just half a year later. Iran is on its way to becoming the de facto guarantor of the Shia government in Baghdad, if you can imagine that. They're just, as Scott said, there don't seem to be any good guys left in any part of Mesopotamia, not even us. Now, stay tuned for part 3 tomorrow, where your Trifecta team, well, we're going to tell you where we should go from here. But that one is for members only. Hit that subscribe button at PJTV.com and find out what a good, or at least maybe a decent, commander-in-chief would do. For Scott Ott and Bill Whittle, I'm Steve Green. Thanks for watching.